safe entry into hundreds of Jewish visitors.
Welcome to the rest of my life. The regular conflicts of humanity continue, even as I move ahead with my life. Alright, a couple things to go over. First of all, pretty good weekend. Finished a painting. Decided upon a scheme format by which I can churn the paintings out from here on out. If you're familiar with the big-eyed painters of the 60s, early 70s, the way that those paintings are just, they have the appearance of just having been turned out, like a machine. That's basically what I'm aiming for, is to just have a basic concept that I just vary slightly, and that's what so anyway, I took a step forward in that direction. I kind of know what I want. The one I started last night, not exactly yet, but we're getting there. Anyway, last week, middle of the week, I had a breakthrough with my meditation. Basically doing what I have been doing, but the breakthrough was to conceive of the inhalation and the exhalation as all one thing, not separate things. And the first time that I did this, it felt so good. It was so good. Of course, there's always the fear, well, next time you won't be able to replicate that. But the next time I meditated, I did the same thing, and it worked. And more or less, it worked for the rest of the week and this weekend. I mean, even just now, you have you're a little wonky when you first sit down to meditate, the first 10, 20 breaths or so. But after that, it seems to be going well. Which leads to my next topic. You go through phases where it feels like you have your ducks in a row, to use that ancient phrase. And that's what I feel like. I feel like right now I've got everything where I want it. I've got my meditation where I want it. I've got my exercise routine where I want it. I've got my mental attitude where I want it. I've got my method for getting through the workday where I want it. I've got my painting where I want it. I've got my everything. It just seems like, in the online magazine, I have it where I want it. And if I could just keep everything going like this, I can play this out for the rest of my life. And it's just, if it gets screwed up, which it will to some extent, but every time it's gotten screwed up in the past, it's been something I did. Like, everything's perfect and this is working well, but maybe we can tinker with it here or make some changes there, or maybe you can start learning Latvian or something. It's just something. But anyway, all right, what else is on the list of shit here? All right, the only thing else I have written down is something yesterday morning. Was it yesterday morning? Yeah, yesterday morning. One of the chores we had on the list to do this weekend was buy some more bags of gravel for the driveway. Because up near the mailbox, the rain is just washing it away, and the mailman is making a rut there by the mailbox, and it's just getting worse and worse. So we keep adding gravel. So it's pouring down rain yesterday morning, and I went up with my wife and we got 6 more bags of gravel and dumped those in the middle of the rain, and we splashed muddy water all over ourselves doing this. So that was done, and then not long after I woke up, late afternoon, my wife was on the phone with, I guess you'd say, friend. There's this woman who lives in our town who's trying to do something, I don't know, not artistically really, but community oriented, trying to provide a venue in which the people who live in the area can get together and socialize in a liberal, artistic environment. Of course, she's running into issues with the local rednecks. But anyway, when the pandemic started, she set up a free food pantry on the front porch of the place, where she's set up this little venue, gathering place, and it's an old bread rack with cans of food and bags of dried beans and stuff like that on it, and it's been there for 2 years now, and people have taken stuff and added stuff, and it's just really gotten to the point where it's just a mess. So she called Molly and asked her, could she go up there and just do away with it, you know. So I said, I'll go along and I'll help you. So it was unbelievable. Cans of food, the labels falling off. Some of it was still good, but some of the cans were rusted or dented. Some of they had put boxes of macaroni up there, and you know, in the damp air, they just got wet, and the macaroni swelled inside the box. Anyway, so we divvied up what was usable, what was not. We filled up our car with this stuff. Okay, so we cleaned off, completely got rid of the bread rack on the front porch of the place, and then we drove into Athens and dropped off the usable food at 2 different free food pantries in town, and then we found a dumpster where nobody was watching and threw all the rest of the shit in there. And I don't know, I'm always accused by people of being antisocial and the kind of person who doesn't want to volunteer, but the fact is, I just don't have time. And if I do have time and there's nothing weighing on me, I don't mind doing stuff like that. So it was just a good feeling to get a bunch of stuff accomplished yesterday. Trying to think what else happened this weekend. Oh dear. It's just such a good feeling to have set up a routine, a system by which you can get through the day with no worries, because at any given moment you know what you're doing, or you know what to do to control your mind so that it doesn't wander into negative areas. Because that's one of the main problems I have, is you're going along doing your thing, and all of a sudden you remember that the time in third grade when you stole this boy's pencil right in front of him and then lied to everybody in the classroom that it was your pencil and made up this elaborate story about how you needed the pencil that morning, and so you got one out of the kitchen, and this is the exact pencil that you got out of your mother's supply in the kitchen, and the boy's sitting there crying because you're getting away with stealing his pencil, and the teacher has no choice but to go along with it because it's such an elaborate lie, but she's looking at you with this look in her eyes like she knows you're lying. And so this pops up out of nowhere. Once a year, that particular memory pops up, but tomorrow it'll be a different memory or a different fear, And this is the kind of thing that happens to me all the time. And it's why I have had to create elaborate thought control methods so that I don't become bogged down with these negative emotions. Oh my God. Many years ago, I had a bad spell while stoned on pot, and this lingering negativity or paranoia stayed with me even after I wasn't stoned. And I wrote a little letter to some professor in the philosophy department asking him, is there anything I can read? I mean, I described basically what the problem was. And he suggested that I read The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus. And so I read it, and I didn't really see how it applied to my problem. But I'll tell you something. I got to stop here and drop off a bag of trash. And just give me 1 second, because this is something I can elaborate on. Hold your horses. God, this place is... Oh, it's Easter. That's what... Oh, it's all closed. I'm driving through the Lowe's parking lot. There's nobody here. Fucking Easter. Give me a break. Alright, hold your horses. I gotta get out and do something. Make sure this truck doesn't sideswipe me while I get out. You never know when some Trump-loving redneck's gonna kill you for driving a Prius. Okay, hold on. Gotta throw this bag in the trash. Oh my God. Ow! I was tripped over the curb. Got a lump in my shoe. Oh shit. Hold on. Oh my God. Before we continue with the Myth of Sisyphus thing, I tell you, another reason I'm feeling good is because I added a little calisthenics routine to my workout, which gets me loosened up so I can face the sit-ups and the weights without as much pain and difficulty. Anyway, the thing is, I see the inhalation and exhalation of meditation as similar to the Myth of Sisyphus, where he rolls the rock up the hill and it rolls back down over and over and over and over, unceasingly. And you can take this all the way back to the infinite cycle of the universe's birth and rebirth. You can take it in comparison to just about anything. the tide going in and out forever. And the thing is, in Camus' analysis of the myth, he says that the relief, I guess you call it, that Sisyphus has in his curse is that moment when he's reached the apex of the hill with the rock before it rolls back down, so that that's his moment of triumph, and that's what keeps him going. And but here's my thing. I don't really believe in free will. I think we have something that feels like free will, but not really. Because we cannot predict the future with anything approaching accuracy, that leads us to believe that we have something like free will. But I believe that the entire universe is just cause and effect. You know, everything goes back, and you know, all the reason things are happening the way they are happening now is because of what happened before. And you can say, "Oh, well, I made a decision, I made a choice." Well, really, your choices are very limited. And you have inclinations that are inborn. But I don't want to get into all that. The point is this. If Sisyphus adopts the attitude that, I mean, he's cursed to do this, right? He has no choice in the matter. He cannot choose not to roll the rock up. He certainly has no choice of whether the rock rolls back down the hill. He is just a sentient part of this mechanism. And so, through meditation, you can begin to see yourself as just part of this machine called the universe, called your life. You can say, "Oh, well, I have this amount of agency, you know, I can decide whether to put sugar in my tea or not, you know." But really, overall, you have no options. You are doomed to freedom. I can't remember who said that. Was that Eric Fromm? Whatever his name is. Who am I thinking of? Anyway, but if you can just eliminate the anxiety that's created by your worry over your life, if you can just take your hands off the wheel, so to speak, and let things happen, I think basically, you know, I could never be a Buddhist because I don't believe in I don't believe in some of the revelatory aspects of Buddhism, but one thing I do agree with them about is that if you can get rid of your desire, meaning not your desire for things or your desire, but if you can get rid of your concern about anything really, then you'll be, if not happy, then at least in a better position emotionally. Sort of obvious when you think about it. If you don't give a shit about anything, I don't know. But the point is that I was meditating today, and I was thinking, if I just surrender myself to the breathing, which is what you're supposed to do in meditation. You're not controlling your breathing. You're breathing normally, but you're observing it, you know. It's very pleasant. I noticed they've opened a new movie theater where the movie theater my daughter used to work at closed for a while, and they've just reopened it. I'm just wondering how successful it's going to be. I haven't gone to the movies in forever, and I don't think I ever will again. Just don't have the time, nor the interest. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I did this weekend? Oh, I hate to have this dead air. I really hope that they have a debate, a public debate between Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker, so that the entire world can witness how stupid Herschel Walker is. And I mean that not just that his beliefs are stupid, I mean he is low on the intelligence scale. He is not a smart person. I doubt he can read. Here, candidate Walker, read this random text out loud. Can you imagine? I wrote in a comment on a YouTube video about this whole debacle today that really it won't matter though, because I don't think that the average Georgia voter sees stupidity as any kind of barrier to high office. In fact, some of them might think it's a point in favor of the candidate. Why, he's stupid just like us. Just like we. No. I was reading H.L. Mencken over the last couple of days, and I was shocked to see him use who instead of whom in a sentence. And I would have thought somebody 100 years ago would use that correctly. All right, I don't have time for anything else. See you later. Bye-bye.